Okay, so here we're going to do some image manipulation, particularly image cropping and keeping the aspect ratio consistent. So the first thing we want to do is open an image. I'm just going to take a test image from somewhere in my folders here. So we take this image, and it's obviously a landscape image. And let's take, for example, the first thing is, let's say it wanted to be a square, and all our images were squares. Then we would go to the crop tool on the left here, and we can set a free ratio here or a fixed ratio. So for a square, the image ratio is 1:1. As simple as that. So if we click that, then it seems to just crop something wrong. It just takes too much. So using the history tool across here on the right, undo that, and basically with the crop tool on, you'll be able to draw in anywhere a square. Now you try and manipulate it, it will always be a square. So you might want to just move that about and take that square like that, and that could be your result. And you might be happy with that. You take a square chunk out of any part of the image, and that can work quite well. However, sometimes you want to take the whole image and you want it all to be a square, and that's not going to be possible unless you actually add to the canvas. So the first thing that we have to do is to go to Image and to go to Canvas Size. And the canvas size is, well, that's how we actually have to see what size the image is first, because it's actually trying to take a very large width there, which makes no sense at all. So image size, resample the image and make the image, let's say, in this case, make it 800 wide. It will keep this aspect ratio because it's locked, and OK it. That's just what it's done. Just made it 800 wide. So if I know it's 800 wide, if it's a square, I want to make it 800 high. So edit, canvas size, 800, and then force this to be 800 as well. And we can decide from this little dot here whether the extra canvas is going to go on the top and the bottom centrally, or whether if I put it here, it will all be on the top, etc. So if you do that, it creates a new canvas there. So there we go, we have our canvas size. Now the unfortunate thing about that is it's actually made the image into a square, but the active parts of the image are only going to be in the center here. So it's not ideal, it's not what we want to do. Sometimes we're given an aspect ratio of, let's say, 600 by 400 or 6:4. Then what we can do is we can put this fixed ratio here, and we put in, say, 6:4, and it creates this. In fact, this actually has to be 6:4. Let's say it's 6:3. So you've got a different kind of crop there. So there you can see there, it's quite a narrow letterbox type shape. Then if you have that ratio there, you can take that crop out of that image. In most cases, you can actually take that crop, save it as a new image, and that becomes adequate. In some cases, you have this image like this, but you have a portrait. So it could be something like 2:4 or 2:3. So we put in width 2, height 3. And then you've got this kind of cropping arrangement. Now that is just not going to work. So you have to bring this handle in here and manipulate this to the part of the image that you want to do. So let's drop it there, like that. And then hit the tick box here, and you've actually got yourself a decent image, which is width 2, height 3. And anytime you can go back and change things. The idea of adding canvas to the outside of the image can work sometimes, but you're made with the decision of, do you make it white or black or whatever. What you don't want to do, and be careful about this, is when you change the aspect ratio with changing the image size. If you do that, this is the kind of result you get. So if you change image size, and you decide it's going to be 800, and you unlock the aspect ratio, and you decide it to be, say, 400, and you OK it, then it squashes it. you can see that we've got a real distortion, and that's wrong. So you don't want to change the image size. You want to change the canvas size, or you want to crop within the existing image. Hopefully that helps you, and any questions, do get back to me.